She publishing. She publishing. She publishing. She publishing. She
Hello, what's up? Oh, okay. Welcome to the She Pub Network, where we talk books, authors, and publishers. I am Shanita Finesse, CEO and founder of She Publishing LLC. Tonight is a continuation of the day one. So today is day 2 of the holiday views, and you are going to meet 2 more phenomenal authors that we have on the She roster, who's a part of our She family. So look, now y'all can't be calling me now. Jump on the live. Y'all jump on the live. So without further ado, you guys, I am going to introduce the 2 men of the hour, and I'm gonna let them introduce their own selves. So we have with us today Sir Bobby and Sir RICHNOVATED. Help me welcome now.
Hey, what's going on? Appreciate the welcome. Appreciate it.
What's up, fellas? So how y'all doing tonight?
I'm doing well. I can't complain. Everything is all well. How about y'all?
Hey, I'm doing good, staying busy, staying working, ready for the holidays, ready to see some family and some friends. So yeah, excited to be here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I'm excited to, now that you brought up the fact of the holidays, I want to get into the holiday movies. You know what I'm saying? Like we gotta start with something fun, you guys. I do want to say that Mark, he's one of your brothers in authorship. He is saying welcome to you guys. But we gotta get into it. So what I need to know is I'm gonna throw this out here, you guys. I'm gonna throw this out here. Um, my question is, if you guys in the audience can tell me, okay, if you guys can tell me whose favorite movie is Home Alone, you will get a prize. So the first person who can tell me who the first person who can tell me whose favorite holiday movie is Home Alone, you will definitely get a prize. So I am gonna type that question up so when people come on, they'll be able to check it out. Um, but so you might want to get to know these fellas first. So let me see. Powerhouse guests online tonight. I see you, Rich. Okay, okay. I see y'all guests are coming in. So we are going to get started. I'd like to start with you, Bobby. Can you please let us know a little bit about yourself and, tell us the name of your book as well?
Absolutely. So my name is Bobby McNeil. I also go as or known as Bobby the Builder. Um, I'm originally in Raleigh, North Carolina, born and raised here in North Carolina. Professionally, I've been a senior level technical recruiter, actually principal level technical recruiter and talent acquisition leader for over a decade. Just on a personal note, I also, played college basketball. You can probably see my jersey and things back there. NCAA Division II national champion. I also lead an organization here called Blacks in Technology. I'm the chapter president for the Raleigh-Durham region. We're all about increasing the representation of Black people in the tech industry. So I'm excited to do all of that work as far as my career and also, what I do, just as far as serving the community, which led to me wanted to write this book called Cracking the Code, 10 Possible Reasons You Didn't Get the Job. Early on in my career, I noticed a lot of different patterns and things like that help people be successful in the interview process, and also some things that kind of were a hindrance as well. And just after 15 years of looking at resumes every day, being in interview debrief sessions with people every day, you know, just and kind of getting that candid feedback, right? So what this book is going to do is going to kind of pull the curtain back, right? And I think it's a book that people need, you know, especially in this day and times with everything that's going on. So this book is not just like a self-help guide. It's not like or anything like that. It's that, but it's also going to be really the blueprint, really, on how to be successful in your job search. Now, there are more reasons, but the reasons just, you know, that I provided just from my, you know, expert lens is the more common reason. So I'm very excited about it. I think it's a book that's needed. I think there's going to be information in here. It's going to be a lot of information. It's going to be some anecdotal experiences that I've experienced, not only as a recruiter and a leader, but also as a candidate and job seeker myself at certain points in my career. So I'm going to have those stories. I'm going to have some data, some information, and it's going to be things that people can digest and can really practically use. So I'm excited about it, and it's coming in 2024.
Yeah, that's dope. We got to get more into that
Oh,
tonight. We got
let's
to get more into that.
go. That's lit. That's lit. That's lit.
And so, Sir Rich Novated, let us know a little bit about yourself and the name of your books, actually.
Sure, sure, sure. Well, thanks again for the wonderful welcome. I appreciate it. Appreciate you, Bobby, plugging in on everything, man. We definitely ready to see this book release. So, but again, you know, my name is Rich Gilliam, aka RICHNOVATED. So I am currently located in North Carolina. I'm originally from North Philly. So came to North Carolina back in 2011. Went to St. Augustine's University, the AUG we like to call it, HBCU. In North Carolina, you know, really changed my life. Kind of starting off right. You know, my book is called Engineer Your Way. This is it right here. It came out about 2 months ago. And Engineer Your Way is really a book, really of me just really sharing my personal journey and also my brand, personal branding into RICHNOVATED. So career wise, you know, my background is in science and engineering. So I'm an engineer currently. But before I was an engineer, I was actually a scientist. So I made the transition from being a scientist to an engineer. So that's one of the things I kind of cover in my book, one of many different things. And as you see the book Engineer Your Way, you might think it's about engineering, right? But this book is nothing about engineering. We'll kind of go more deep into it during the show, but you know, engineer is an acronym, and I like to say, you know, once you get in that car, you think you're getting something about just engineering, but you're getting so many other life skills that kind of help you with everything. So yeah, that's a little bit about me. I guess on a personal front, you know, I can't get on this show without shouting out my wonderful wife. I recently got married to Kayla. So shout out to Kayla. I don't know if she's on right now. She's downstairs. But but definitely had to give a shout out to her because, you know, I wouldn't be where I'm at today. My business STEM plug wouldn't be where it's at today if it's not for her. So I give her all the praise. She's the boss. So, but yeah, that's a little bit about me. So, thank you on mute.
How am I going to be on mute? Now, what I was saying, what I was saying was, now see, I like you already, Rich Novated. You understands that the wife is the boss.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Just joking. Yes, but I think that is absolutely amazing. And one of the reasons why we have the both of you here tonight is because your books are somewhat similar. They're both inspiring books and they're both like self-help books as well. I like to just get into what does that stand for, and then how that even connects with Bobby's book and what he has going on. So let us know that.
Yeah, for sure. So what does engineering stand for, right? I'm just going to kind of go into the table of contents. I don't know if anyone can see it, but like I said, engineer is an acronym. So it's going into, you know, that first chapter is called embrace. So when I say embrace, you know, I say everything now about, you know, how I am the person I am today, RICHNOVATED, you know, offer, you know, different things within my life. But I graduated high school with a 1.8 GPA. And I'm proud to say that, and I can be transparent because I can share my journey and embrace that and really help someone else. Then our next chapter is kind of going into to navigate, right? So how do you navigate all the different waters of, going through your different stories within life? What are the tools, the tips that you need to really take to kind of navigate through that journey? Then our next chapter is going into
Let's stop at
uh,
navigate really quick, okay?
yeah, for
Because I
sure.
think that's really important. And I think when we talk about navigation, again, we can kind of think about Bobby's book about even navigating through a job that you want, because
Mm.
it's not just about that job, it's about you making sure that it's a good fit. It's about you also interviewing that person. So, what do you have to say about navigation, Bobby?
Yeah, I think Rich really hit it on the head when you're thinking about like even my career, and it's your career is a journey. It's the longest journey you'll have in your life, one of the longest journeys you have as you continue to transition laterally or move upwardly, right? And one of the reasons why I wanted to write this book is because there's a lot going on in the tech industry. There's a lot going on, period, about where people, they sell you the dream, but they don't sell you the journey, right? And the dream is 100% attainable. We all want to
Mm.
get at a certain point in our career. We all want to get in a certain point of our lives. But in connecting it with Rich's book, when he talks about navigating the navigation, there's steps that need to be taken. There's processes that need to be go through, and there's things that people need to know, right? So this book, Cracking the Code, 10 possible reasons you didn't get a job, is not going to hit the surface level. It's going to go deeper, right? It's going to go beneath the surface and really kind of be that compass for you to navigate not only your career, but you can pull things out of here to navigate your life as well. So
Wow, that's dope.
Bars. Bars.
Right?
Yeah.
Look,
So
I done learned some y'all bars. I'm about to be saying that now. I got that from
you
the
need
tech.
you need the horn or something. You can buzz the horn when you got a bar.
Man, look,
Yeah.
look. I'm loving it. Now let's get to the next thing. What's the next letter, Rich, that we gonna get into?
So the next letter is, first of all, I'm really a man of principles, and I live my life by certain principles, and that's why I really believe that God really blesses me with the different things that I have within my life. So that next section is really going into gratitude, right? And not only just gratitude when things are going your way, but gratitude when something might not go your way, right? And I can be like fully transparent. For me, it's been a long week in the lab, for say, right? But even through that, I have gratitude that I'm going through different things within the lab, but I'm even still learning, even at the point that I'm at right now, right? So really having that gratitude, far as you know, not even when things are always going well, having that gratitude when times might be hard, but just understanding that you might learn from those times. So our next section is kind of going into that gratitude area.
See, so I need y'all to understand. So these two books, literally, I would probably get them as combo books for real because they are so connected. So when it comes to landing a job, what is gratitude? Do you speak on that in your book
yeah,
about a little bit? Do you touch a little bit of that?
yeah, the gratitude, and I would even say, along with gratitude comes integrity, right? So it talks about, in the integrity in your search, not lying on your resume, because anything you put on your resume is fair game for questioning and can and will be assessed. The integrity, but also what Rich talked about, the gratitude. Not, we talk about a journey as well, and we talk about not getting too high in the highs, but not getting too low in the lows, right? And through it all, being grateful, through it all, having that gratitude that Rich just mentioned. You even look at the job market right now, like especially in the tech industry, we're in there's peaks and valleys in all this. We're in a valley right now. So what this book does, in conjunction with what Rich's book talks about, is just staying the course and staying focused and being encouraging. This is what this book is going to do: Cracking the Code, 10 possible reasons you didn't get the job, right? The title itself it's eye-popping, but there's real information in here on how to navigate the valleys, right? And you get practical tips on how to do that, and you get stories about how I've had to navigate the highs and the lows as a tech recruiter, but also as a job seeker, right? So you get personal accounts, and then you also get information to kind of back that up as well. So
Wow. All right. All right. Go on.
Bars,
Keep it going,
bars,
teacher.
bars, bars, another bars.
Look,
Yeah.
Rich, you're gonna have to show me these sounds, how I can get these sounds going.
Nah, I got you. I got you.
This is
Hey,
what's
and it's
up.
crazy because you asked me how to show you some sounds, and that kind of goes perfectly into the next section that we're talking about, right? Because the next
Okay.
section is going into to innovation, right? So with innovation, that kind of all goes into forward thinking, and I kind of give a direct example of how I talked about how I made a transition of going from being a scientist to an engineer, and back in 2018. I was a scientist. So currently in my engineer role, I work with in lab automation. So with lab robots. So pretty much, we have I work on robots that pretty much does the work that scientists might do in a lab, but to more of a scale form. So back in 2018, I was a scientist actually running experiments on these same exact robots. But in 2018, I started to have that forward thinking mindset of like, okay, this is 2018. I can only imagine where, robotics or the field of automation is going to go in like the next 5 years. So with that forward thinking mindset, I took that initiative to, when the vendor might come in to work on the different equipment, stuff like that. I started to shadow them, get that different experience. And I kind of put it on my resume. And then I kind of made that transition. So the next chapter of innovation is just trying to really giving my example of my life journey where I went, and then kind of giving tips on how someone can kind of look forward and be a forward thinker and kind of get in that innovative mindset. So,
Wow.
yeah.
Like I love that. And so for me, having this whole platform, having a publishing company, it is like it has been a true blessing. And just to meet an engineer, a scientist, someone who's been doing these different things. It's like, man, we got everything in this She family that we need, y'all. Okay. I mean, I think it is just amazing to hear these things. And I think even younger men or younger women, it's like I'm not even sure if engineer, and maybe it is, maybe I just really wasn't into that, but like, is this in the schools, is this being presented to students? Because most young men, they want to be basketball players, they want to be I don't know, and actors and actresses and different things like that. And I'm gonna we're gonna get to this innovative with you, Bobby. I mean, but I just want to know, like, really, how did that come into your life to be an engineer or a scientist? Did that start from school? Did that start from someone you saw on TV? Where did that come from?
Okay. Well, I got a two-part answer to that.
Mhm,
First, when you said is it in the schools, different stuff like that,
mhm.
you really just plugged in STEM plug. So my business STEM plug. That's what we're doing now. We're working with different schools, making STEM cool. We got the STEM plug podcast on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, Spotify, where we talk to innovative entrepreneurs that are doing amazing things within STEM, such as Bobby. Bobby is a I like to call him a tech recruiting legend. So just sharing that game, and
appreciate that.
it's like kids growing up wanting to be AI now. Now they want to be Bobby the Builder. So we making the story different. But for me, to be honest, like I didn't like grow up. Like I'm not even going to sugarcoat it. I ain't grow up wanting to like be a scientist or an engineer or anything like that. Um, it was really for me. It came like my senior year of high school. I studied. I did my high school project on kidney disease, and is that my background? Oh, okay. So yeah, my senior year in high school, I did my high school project on kidney disease, just researching the ins and outs of it. And so my aunt had kidney disease most of my life, and so I studied that, was kind of passionate about it. And then once I got to college, I didn't really know what I wanted to study. And I remember talking to my mom, and she was like, why don't you study, biology? You really enjoyed doing that, project within kidney disease. And then, I remember my freshman year, I had a professor that really helped me learn in an adaptive learning environment. And that really just turned me into a lifetime learner, from freshman year of college, 2011, I turned into a lifetime learner and just wanted to like kind of keep diving into different areas of science. So then, once I graduated in 2015, I was doing a neuroscience research for the government, did that for about 2 years, and then left there and then transitioned into another pharmaceutical company where I was doing more like genomics type of research, and then kind of transitioned that into engineering. And now I'm really just, sharing and telling my story with the world and just sharing my journey and showing anybody that it's feasible to, follow your dreams no matter where you come from, no matter what you've been through. So
You're on
you on
mute.
mute.
Come on, y'all. Look, that's because I had all these kids in the background, y'all. And that's why you're
Hey,
like, hold up, who is that?
we do it live.
Hey,
This
this is
is
this
what
is what
live is
live
like,
is
bro.
about.
So,
Exactly. But look, Mark is saying big ups to RICHNOVATED and Bobby. We need more Black scientists, engineers, and STEM researchers in our community. I definitely totally agree with that 150%. And just to let you guys know, so there's somebody on here named Mr. Scott. Okay. Now I just have to make this clear for you guys who are just coming on. I asked a question earlier. I'll give the answer at the end of the show, but I wanted to know whose favorite movie is Home Alone from the authors that are on this show. So I am so grateful that Mr. Scott, this is one of his favorite movies as well. But I want to know between RICHNOVATED and Bobby the Builder, whose favorite movie is Home Alone between those two? If you guys could answer that question, the first person who answered that question will get a grand prize. Okay. Let's see. All right. So let's get back to innovation. Bobby, what does that mean to you in cracking the code?
yeah, so one of the key things that's talked about, in the book, and one of the key things I've always said throughout my career, whether it's like a speaking engagement or a podcast, is the ability to be transferable or to be a jack of all trades, right? Like what Rich talked about is having transferable skills, right? And transferable skills are essentially just business skills, right? That can be used throughout any industry, anytime, anywhere, right? So think about yourself as a, kind of like a Swiss Army knife, right? Where you're transferable, you're adaptable, and all those things, right? So one of the key things with that, is being able to be useful anywhere at any time, right? And I even make a reference because I played basketball all my life, played basketball, in college, national champion, all of it, played with some great basketball players, right? But one of the key things you always had to do in order to continue to elevate and also to continue to innovate is to have your skills intact, right? And always working, always sharpening your skills, right? I know even in sales, they had the acronym ABC, always be closing. I even tell somebody they're like a software engineer, you should be ABC, always be coding. Because
Oh,
because things are always evolving and moving. So you have to evolve as well. And you have to continue to innovate yourself, right? Even when we talk about on a career journey, right? Where you're, out there looking for your next career, trying to land that dream tech role, right? And are you trying to elevate? Are you trying to transfer to another role or trying to move laterally? One of the key things, we're going to talk about in this book. A lot of people ask me, well, Bobby, how do I show impact on my resume? How do I show impact in my career? And you got to ask yourself two questions. And these are going to be in the book. I'll go ahead and give them to you now. But you got to ask yourself two questions. What did I innovate and what did I elevate? What was made better because of my work? What was made better because of my skills? What was made better because of my presence? What got better, or what new things came about because I was there, right? So that's what innovation is all about, and that's what Rich touched on, from being a scientist to an engineer to an author, right? He was always working on his skills. Any room that he goes in, he has an impact, right? So that's what this is going to be in this book. It ties into everything that Rich is talking about here tonight. That's why he my boy. That's why we get down how we get down. You know what I'm saying? Because we had the same mindset. And this book, Cracking the Code, is going to talk about all those different things in a real way that's going to be relatable to people, no matter if you're in tech or you're not in tech. You can get a lot from this book if you're a software engineer, a cybersecurity analyst, or if you work in sales, or even if you work in customer service at an engineering company or at a financial institution. Everybody can get something out of this book. There are going to be tech references, but the information is going to be there to help you and be insightful as well. So
Bars again.
those bars.
Bars, bars.
Yeah.
You already know.
Mindset.
Hashtag
Mindset.
bars.
Yeah, it's a lot of bars in the book. 2024 is covered. It's a lot of bars in the book, man.
Look, that's what's up. So, mindset is so important, right? I mean, it is so important. But I do have a question about when you were talking about resumes and you were talking about not lying on a resume. Is there innovative ways? Is this going to be in the book? Is what I'll say. Is there innovative ways to put things on the resume to make you stand out?
Yeah,
Will that
absolutely.
be in the book?
Yeah, absolutely. I have a whole chapter that breaks that down. So every chapter is going to be a reason. So there's 10 reasons. There'll be more chapters, but the core, of the book is going to be these 10 reasons. And every chapter is going to dive into the reason, right? And this is a chapter where it talks about, resumes and how to show impact, right? So you want to focus on impact, not so much on job duties and responsibilities. Yes, job duties and responsibilities are important, but in order to catch the eye of a recruiter, in order to catch the eye of a hiring manager, I need to see the impact, right? Yeah, I need to see, like we talked about, what did you innovate? What did you elevate? You can show that through data. You can show that through statistics, how you met or exceeded metrics, or something that you created, a particular project that you worked on, right? So there's ways that you can do that. But before we even get into that, the format of your resume has to look the way it needs to look, right? I've seen so many resumes where it's, and this is in the book too, it's like almost like having good posture, right? When you're sitting in a chair or you standing up, it's like having good posture. And you typically present better and you have more of a presence when you have posture. Well, if your resume doesn't have good posture, it's going to be hard to read, right? So that's just a very practical way just to make sure you have good posture. Using bold and italics in the best way possible in your resume, that's going to be key, right? To highlight certain things that are going to be eye-catching. I talked about this book not only having anecdotal experiences for myself, but also data and statistics and numbers. There's a study that's going to be referenced in this book where it says a tech recruiter or hiring manager only takes about maybe 7 to 10 seconds to look at your resume. And it was called the Lattice Eye Study. It was the eye study exam where they actually like looked at how a recruiter or hiring manager scans your resume. They're looking for immediate impact, looking for things to see. So there's a lot of things you can do. Your formatting, how you use bold and italics, focusing on more so on impact, not necessarily on what the job duties, day-to-day functions, but also making sure that people count their wins. I'll say this one last thing. One of the key things, one of the big problems is, when I coach people, I talk to people, they don't count their wins along the way. They do a job, but they don't document, positive reviews they got. You don't document, how they impacted a project when they have a performance review, when they, have a peer review. You got to take those stuff and you got to store it away. So when that time comes to upload your resume or actually, upgrade your resume, you can kind of put it in there, right? So a lot of people, they don't count their wins throughout their career. They just go do the job. They do a job well done, but then, hey, I can't remember what I did, last year, 2 years ago, right? So those are just some key things as well to make sure, though, some creative ways to make sure that you display that on your resume.
Okay. Um, I'm loving this, you guys, and I hope you guys are taking some notes seriously. We're gonna get to the wins, and but before we get to the wins, I will say that both of these books, I'm gonna tell you, are gonna be beneficial for you. I have had a career with the federal government for over 24 years, the federal judiciary, and I interview all the time. And so, what Bobby is saying, so although we may talk a lot about STEM and tech and this and that, this is all over. I'm telling you, I've had a preview of the book myself, although it is not out. And Engineer Your Way is out. And I'm just going to tell you, these are two books that I would recommend. Running the operations of a federal courthouse and having to interview. I'm looking at the resumes, I'm looking at the formats of the resumes, and I like pretty, just to let y'all know. Um, a lot of hiring managers like pretty. If it looks pretty to the eye, it's the truth. So everything that you've been saying, Bobby, it's the truth because this is something that I do. So and even with Engineer Your Way, it's and we're gonna finish those acronyms tonight, you guys, because it just hits so many different layers and so many different things. But before we get to that, I want to go to the wins because that's one of the things that a lot of when I have interviews with people, you get this out of them, but these are things that you have not seen in a resume. So to have someone who knows the questions to ask can even be a good thing. And so we have to know those things as interviewers. But there's something you can do even if you don't get that out in the interview. Talk about that a little later, or you may just have to pick up the book for that. But we're gonna get to the wins. The wins. I would like to know, and I'd like to start with you, Rich. Can you name us maybe one or two wins, one or two things that you have accomplished or will accomplish in 2024? Can you tell us one or two of those wins? And have
Uh,
you documented those things yet?
oh yeah, my wins is definitely documented. We got a little dark win board. So you talking about for the year or just in general, like my life? Like
It could be in 2023 and maybe something in 2024.
true. I mean, yeah. So definitely, it wouldn't be right if I say my number one win is definitely getting married to my wife for sure. That's my number one win.
Nice.
Number two win, I would say, huh? Number two win, I'll definitely say, I got doing a TED Talk in 2024 in Charlotte, North Carolina in February. So that's a big, definitely a big win for me for my personal brand and everything I'm doing. I've been doing a lot more speaking engagements this year. So now going into the TED Talk, that's going to kind of continue with that in February as well. So yeah, I would say those are my two big personal wins. I also have, I guess, some wins that I can say that just kind of like, just I don't know, makes me feel good. It might not be like an actual like uh money coming in or something like that, but it just personally like makes my heart feel good because I had some help with that. Definitely I would say one of my big wins this year was just like seeing some people that I mentored kind of like just doing great things. So that was another kind of big win this year. I've had a lot of mentees in the past that are just kind of doing some amazing things. So it's another win. I know that's three, but
I know. Look, now come on now.
overflow. Overflow.
Look, I was
Oh,
hoping
man.
you brought up the TED Talk because that is absolutely amazing. And like just being a part of the She family is like, y'all, we have someone in the family who is doing this, y'all. So there may be an opportunity for us to go to one of your classes where you are maybe teaching us some of these tips, and we got it right in house, you guys. So I love that. And so, Bobby, can you give us one, two, or three of
Yeah,
your wins?
yeah. Yeah. So I think this year I think there's been a lot of trials and tribulations, just like in life in general, right? But if we're just talking about wins, I think there were a lot of personal and professional wins for me this year. I think one, I would say, as I mentioned earlier, I'm the chapter president for Raleigh Durham for Blacks in Technology. Blacks in Technology is the largest organization of its kind dedicated to increasing the representation of Black people in the tech industry. We have 82 chapters in 20
Wow.
countries, and the Raleigh Durham chapter, we have close to about maybe 500 members. And this year at our annual conference, I was able to receive the Impact Award, which is given to
Wow.
only 4 chapters, and we got 82 of them in the world, not just in North Carolina, not just in the Southeast, not just in the United States, but the world, right? We got chapters in England, we got chapters in Europe, we got chapters in Africa, we got chapters in Canada. And, for, that, for us to get that award and, for me to bring that home, to Raleigh Durham, was incredible. Right. So I think that was definitely a big win. We partner with all these different tech companies here in the Raleigh Durham area to put on events and curate topics that Black and brown people care about, and also put them in position to get hired. Right. We don't promise that, they're going to get hired at these companies. We want to put them in contact with the talent acquisition team and recruiters. And we were the most impactful chapter in the globe. So that was a huge win for me. Something that just actually happened yesterday that I haven't told anybody about yet, but I'll, debut it on here. I am going to be featured in a CNBC article next week about the tech industry and turning a layoff into a layup. And helping people navigate through that. So just did an interview yesterday with a CNBC writer. She seemed very happy with the things I said. And that article will come out next week. She said probably either next week or before January. So I'll let you all know, go read it. Hopefully, everything that we do, everything I do, everything Rich does is to help people. Right. And, that's where the name Bobby the Builder came from. I built a successful career. Now I got to help people build theirs, and build right habits, good habits, and good minds, build the right mindset. So those are 2 wins, I would say, were big for me. Next year, this book itself, for me, is going to be a win. I remember saying a long time ago when I was a little boy, I'm going to write a book one day. I didn't know what it was about, but I was a basketball player. I was a star basketball player in North Carolina, played in college, and kind of what we were talking about before. Everybody ain't going to be LeBron. Everybody ain't going to be Drake. Everybody ain't going to be Beyonce. And I think a lot of our Black and brown kids, that's what they always strive to. But I knew I was going to make an impact regardless, right? And I knew my impact just wasn't limited to my jump shot or my crossover. Now, if you want to pursue that, 100% fine. That's your dream. Not saying you shouldn't go after your dreams, but you can be a successful engineer. You can be a successful, techie. You can be a successful professor, and still earn a great living and still be impactful. So the fact that Cracking the Code, 10 Possible Reasons You Didn't Get the Job is coming out next year. That's one of the things I'm proud to say is going to happen for me. I always wanted to write a book. I didn't want to be looking back years from now and be like, I should have wrote the book. The book is being written. It's coming out next year. So I would say those are some wins for me.
Wow. Oh my goodness. Look, y'all doing some big things. I mean, I would say 2 of my wins would be to have to actually have you 2 a part of the She family. I think that is I'm definitely honored. Hey, right? But 1 and 2, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna throw a 3rd one in there, and that's just about, it's like everybody who I've signed, I have learned something from them. You guys have been inspiring for me. You guys keep me going. You know what I'm saying? I mean, obviously, aside from my family, you know what I'm saying? My husband, my children, you guys are my family as well. And so to have some um, innovative people on in this community is huge. And so I just thank you guys for even wanting to sign with She. And as a matter of fact, I met you, Bobby, through Rich.
Hmm.
So how did you two meet?
I'll
How
let
we
Rich.
meet?
Yeah, I'll let Rich.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's nah, it's crazy. So me and Bobby met from so we originally met through like social media. I had seen Bobby like on like a podcast, and then so Bobby told you that he's the president of Blacks in Technology in the RDU area, and I'm actually the president of the National Society of Black Engineers here in RTP. So when I seen that he was the
Okay.
president of Blacks in Technology, I was like, oh, wow, we gotta connect. Like I'm all about just building community and just building with like minds. So I just kind of reached out to him, and then that had to be probably about that was like yeah, I don't even remember what it was. It was a
Like the
while
spring.
ago, but
Yeah, it was the
yeah,
spring.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But we kind of just connected, and we literally just been locked in ever since. Like we've been collaborating with both of our organizations of NESB and Blacks in Technology. We've been at different conferences, talking at different conferences, just building, helping out each other, just collaborating. And yeah, so we just been getting it. We both in the same area, so I'm like I said, I'm all about collaboration and linking with like minds. So that's kind of how it happened. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Wow. So I am originally from Chicago, but the business is based in Indiana. And I met Rich in Houston, Texas. Okay. And you guys are from North Carolina. So the collaboration is real. It's something that we can do. We can always continuously support each other. And just knowing someone in the engineering in the STEM world, like I have a resource, if I have a question about something, if I resource, you know what I'm saying? So that's always great. So let's get into the next end, the second end of engineer. What is that about?
I just want to say like you're flowing this conversation perfectly because what we were just talking about goes perfect into this next section, right? So the next section is on nurture. And when I talk about nurture, right, um, I'm really talking about, nurturing yourself. So that's self care for yourself, but as well as, just, personal relationships. So building those relationships with people, building that community with people, because, it's not about what you know anymore. It's about who you know and the relationships that you have and just really sustaining those relationships, right? So the next section is really kind of going into how I really talked about how I, really nurture the relationships that I have, the different friends that I have, the different mentors that I had. I had a mentor when I had a mentor my senior year in college when I was working for the government, and I stayed in touch with her for years after I even left that mentorship, that internship, right? And then back in 20 2021, when my children's book Diverse in STEM came out, she was able to get me like a nationally recognized article written up because I'm still like just connected with her, right? So, really just talking about like those relationships, building those relationships with different people, making sure that you really nurture yourself as well. So it's like, we're talking so technical, right? You hear engineer, you think it's so technical, but find yourself a hobby as well, like finding yourself an outlet outside of just work. So they kind of make you a well balanced person. So yeah, our next section is kind of going into that nurture area.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. When you said that, it just made me think about Adam Sandler. It's like when you see him, do you guys know Adam Sandler?
Oh yeah. Oh,
The
sure.
okay. But when you see him, like you see like them same people, right? Him
Mhm.
nurturing those relationships, building his own, building that circle because everybody can't be in the circle, and that's totally fine because you can create your own circles. You can um eat at your own table, you know what I'm saying? Maybe you may not want to be invited to that table, and not and saying that humbly, you guys,
Mhm.
because it's just that you still like you need those resources, you need that table. And so that's what I just love about Adam Sandler.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
exactly, right? Thinking about even building a publishing company, not even knowing, like, I never would have believed that I would be a publisher today, but just to nurture the relationships that we have here in this company, that is something that I intend to do. So I do have my own copy of Engineer Your Way, but I don't have a signed copy, and that's just not it. Okay. How do I publish a book and don't have a signed copy? So I do expect to get my signed copy. And I don't want to hear this from Bobby. I don't want to have the book, don't have a signature on the book that I have.
Nah, I got you. I got you.
Yeah, we're gonna take
Thank
care of that. Yeah.
My
something.
bad.
What's up with that?
That's my bad. That's my bad. But nah, just even piggybacking what you said about like how when we first met in Houston, that was what was that? October of 2022, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hmm.
at the black the National Black Book Festival. And we kind of, just really stayed in touch after that. Before I even, really signed with She, right? I was still just kind of like checking in on you, different things like that, always just staying
Yeah.
connected. So really, even building that relationship with people, even when you're not looking for anything, right? Really looking at how you
Yes.
can provide value to somebody, not the value that they can give to you. Because when you can provide value to somebody else, then it's gonna come back to you.
Yeah.
It is so true. It is so true. And it was like I wasn't thinking that I would ever publish a book for you. You know what I'm saying? You're a self-published author, already. You know the game. This is just a different experience. You know what I'm saying? That's what it is. And a great experience, I hope. Um, but yeah, it wasn't about me publishing your book. It was about a genuine connection. It was like you were helping me with something. I think I was looking for puzzles from my daughter's book, and you gave me like a place, a resource. So when you're able to build them genuine connections, things just come full circle. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Bobby, what's your take on nurturing?
Yeah, I love what we're doing because, like, soon as he started talking, I was like, yeah, like, I got a whole chapter. One of the main reasons, one of the possible reasons people don't get the job is the inability to network and engage. And there's a whole chapter dedicated to that. Networking is a value exchange. You know, um, a lot of times people go into networking events or just conversations and just activities with people. They only think about what they're going to get from the community. They only think about what they're going to get from the networking, but they don't look to see how they can add value to somebody else, right? And I think a lot of times people they get disenchanted or discouraged because they didn't get something from the networking activity or exchange right then and there. But what you're doing is you're planting a seed. We're talking about nurture, right? A lot of times what you're doing is planting a seed for something that may manifest itself down the road. I'm here today off networking because I met Rich back in March, who didn't met you prior, right? It didn't happen right then and there, but those relationships were nurtured, right? So I think a lot of times people, like, they go into this, like, you go into a conference, you go into a networking event, you go into a mixer, and they looking for something to grow and right then and there, and it could. But a lot of times what you're doing is just planting a seed for something that may happen down the road, right? And that's oftentimes what it is. It's a value exchange, and sometimes just showing personal interest in people, right? And I think a lot of times, a lot of people, they don't necessarily know how to network, and they're afraid to network because they don't know how. The things that you're unfamiliar with are things a lot of times end up being afraid of, right? So instead of going into it asking for something, make that personal connection. Find something you got in common with the individual, right? Oh, you both like books, great. And you can that could be the spark for anything else that's going to build before, on top of that. So that's what, all, the conversation about nurture, that's what I think about. I think about relationships. I think about networking being a value exchange. And we go into that in the book, and I give you the strategy and the playbook on how to do that, not only virtually, but also in person.
Okay. All right, now you guys, we are definitely running out of time. I am definitely enjoying this conversation. Like literally, I can go on and on and on talking to you guys, and I'm sure the listeners feel the same way because we have listeners on YouTube as well as through Facebook. So I do want to let's talk about the two E's, the next two E's together. What
Yeah,
is
for
that
sure.
representative of?
For sure, for sure. Yeah, so the next two E's are, I think things that are very important and that I know have been important in my life, and I feel as though are very important for anybody building anything, any professional brand, business, whatever you're doing. And that are, emotional intelligence and also empathy, right? So, me being fully transparent, I can admit that, in my younger years, I might not had perfect emotional intelligence. But as a black man in America, you have to always have emotional intelligence wherever you're at, right? Because you can spend years, and I mean years, of building your professional brand, your personal brand. And if you don't know how to use your emotional intelligence, you can lose all of that in 10, 15 seconds, right? So just having that understanding of really knowing how to maneuver in certain rooms, understanding when something might not go your way, how to really critically think and how to react to those certain situations are very important. So that section of emotional intelligence is kind of diving into that and me really actually giving full life examples. Like I said, every section that I'm kind of talking about in the book, I actually give examples within my life of how I used emotional intelligence or how I even in my earlier years may not have used emotional intelligence. So just kind of giving game on how you can kind of continue to build in that area. And then next is kind of just going into empathy, right? I feel as though empathy is a very important quality in life, right? And when I say empathy, I mean everything from understanding different cultures of people to understanding different people's personalities, just understanding that everyone is not going to be like you, right? But having that empathetic mindset where, just because someone isn't like you doesn't mean that you don't want to, just know their point of view or see it from their perspective. So those are those kind of the double E's, as you just call it. So
I love that. And one thing I do know for sure is empathy and emotional intelligence definitely plays a part in even getting a job.
Mhm.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, we ask those emotional intelligent questions that some people may or may not know that that's what we're doing.
Hmm.
Can you kind of touch on that a little bit just without
Yeah.
giving, because
Yeah.
they're gonna have to get these books now,
Yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah. Real quick, I won't, I'll leave some room for people to go, buy the book next year. But
Yeah.
emotional intelligence, like we talk a lot about, there's different types of intellect. I think in order to just navigate not only your career but your life, you got to have a high EQ. You got to have emotional intelligence. You got to know how to be poised, not how to be driven and led so much by your feelings. Right? Feelings are important. You're human, but being able to understand and be able to have some reasoning about how you navigate certain situations. Rich touched on this, incredibly important as a Black individual to do that, right? Just understanding what's going on in the room. I think relational intelligence is something that isn't talked about enough either. Relational intelligence and understanding who people are in your life, right? You have mentors, you have sponsors, but you also have advocates and knowing who those people are, having friends, but also knowing who's a friend, but who's an acquaintance, right?
Right.
Because and knowing who those people are and what seats they have at the table with you, right? So that you don't, mislead anyone or you don't mismanage the relationships you have. So I think that's 100% important.
bars,
Wow.
Again?
bars.
I mean, it's all been bars between the both of y'all. Like, and we're gonna close this up with the R, you guys. Let
Okay.
us know about the R.
Yeah, I mean, so the R is, really after all the different areas that we kind of discussed within the engineer, that R is just really reassuring everything, right? So really reassuring yourself that you are who you are, right? Just really giving yourself that, because everything starts with yourself, right? I always like to say, my favorite quote when I sign different books and everything is I always say that your imagination is the biggest nation, right? Because if you don't believe it yourself, then why would somebody else believe it? So just kind of going back to everything else, you always just have to reassure yourself that you are who you are. And that's a daily job, right? So those daily affirmations with yourself, because you know it gets rough. And you know, even with me, I can be fully transparent, you know, being the only one that might look like me, being in different environments that I'm in as an engineer. I might not understand something sometimes. I might down myself sometimes, like, dang, what's going on? Like stuff like that. I might have to walk out the room and reassure myself, oh no, you rich innovated. Yeah, we got this.
Mhm.
So just really reassuring yourself that you are who you are. So
Bars.
Mars, for real.
Well, my man, that was tough, man. That was good.
Look, see now, look, I may not be Beyonce, but maybe I'll be the Beyonce in publishing. I mean, I'm about to go in the mirror, do me some little moves, you know, and
Yeah.
come
Gotta
on
get
back out
to it.
there. And I mean, see, and this is what I'm saying. These book they connect because I know, Bobby, you have something to say about this.
Yeah, absolutely. When we talk about, cracking the code, we're talking about careers, we're talking about, navigating, kind of that journey. I mean, I think oftentimes, especially when we're in downtimes in the economy where there may be a layoff or something may happen, I think oftentimes we get so caught up on the name that's in the front of the jersey. We don't think about the name on the back of the jersey, which is our name, right? It's not to say that you're not grateful and you don't appreciate the opportunity that the team on the front of your jersey gave you, but it's the name on the back of your jersey. You gotta understand that your whole total worth isn't tied into your career, right? And I even make mention this to this book, all these 10 possible reasons, right? I give you solutions on how to get through those, right? And these are things that you can use in your own entrepreneurial ventures. These are things that you can use in your own life, right? To make yourself more impactful there. So that's what it's all about. Just understanding that when you walk in the rooms, no matter if you're the only person, you're the only woman there, you're the only Black person there, you're there for a reason, right? Everybody else is in that room. You're in the room. You're in the room just for the reasons they're in the room too. So you belong in every room that you go in, because if you're there, you belong there. And just understanding that, right? And just like you said, being the Beyonce of publishing, right? You gotta walk in like I'm this is me. I does this. I'm the GOAT
I know that's
in what
right.
I do. This is what I do. I'm here for a reason. I have value to bring, and being confident in that.
Bars. Can
Bars.
we can we say it?
Bars squared.
Bar square.
I love that. And I mean, for me, that's why I love what I do because I get this information. I have this information firsthand. You know, they say the teacher needs some teaching too, like the mentor needs some mentoring too. So, you know, we all have to need something that will keep our emotional bank account at a positive. You know what I'm saying? Because we are giving. When you guys are giving us this information, you are like giving this to us. And then you have to also keep yourself inspired. So, my last question for you, because we have run over time, this is the final question. And then you can let us know how the viewers can get in contact with you, how to follow you, and all of that. But my last question is, how do you get your inspiration? Because you are some inspiring, men. So I know you are getting your inspiration, and it could be from each other, it could be from another mentor. But if you could give me one and then let us know how to follow you.
Rich, I'll let you go, man. Go ahead.
Okay. You said how do we get our inspiration?
Yeah.
Um, but you said
Yeah.
just one. You said just one thing though. I would just
Oh,
say my overall my community. I definitely say I get my inspiration from my community as well as the different people that might look up to me. Right. That just like for example, like I did an event about a month ago. And I was it was a children's event, so I had my children's book diverse in STEM and some other STEM flashcards that I have out now. But it was a little girl that came up with her mom, and she got my book like a year ago, and her mom was saying like, oh, she wants to be like a computer engineer now, just from reading my book about a year ago. So stuff like that kind of inspires me and keeps me going on, as well as my community of people that I have. such as like Bobby doing some amazing things, and my community such as the National Society of Black Engineers, some amazing engineers out here. So really, just the people that I have within my community. But yeah, so that's kind of with me. Then you said kind of plugging in our
Yes,
information. You said sure. So
absolutely.
yeah, so you can check me out on Instagram, RICHNOVATED. So that's RICHNOVATED. You can also check me out on richnovated.com. So you can check out Engineer Your Way on richnovated.com if you want to book a call with me to catch up. Want to help on any personal branding or anything like that, you can book a call with me on my website. And also make sure you check out the STEM Plug podcast, which is on YouTube, Spotify, Amazon Music, and Apple Podcasts. And we got about 22 episodes out right now. We drop every Monday. Bobby was on one of our episodes, plugging in. So yeah, just definitely stay plugged in with RICHNOVATED and STEM Plug. And if I could be of any support, please hit me up. Or if you just want to plug in, just tap in, just hit me up. So
And
I appreciate it.
if anybody want to be on your show, they can go to, what is it, STEM Plug through YouTube. How can people connect with you if they, you know, and they can
Okay.
find out all that good information? But yeah, because I
Yeah,
know some people have been wanting
we got a little
to
vetting
know.
process for that, but yeah,
Hmm.
for sure, they could definitely plug into our website. So stemplug.com. Could definitely check out the website, and we can definitely see how things fit. So yeah, for sure.
All right. Thank you, Reg. All right, Bobby.
All right, yeah, yeah. Much like Rich, I think the community, my peers. I think there's a lot of people out here, in my space that's doing good things as well, doing great things, and they definitely inspire me. Not only does having a community is important, and having not just community but like-minded community. Because not only they'll keep you inspired, they also can keep you humble as well. And it also it's just having a safe place to kind of bounce ideas off of, and share ideas and things like that. And so very similar to Rich. For me, how you can get in contact with me, I mean, hey, I am a tech recruiter. I live on LinkedIn. You can find me on LinkedIn. Just put in Bobby McNeil. I'm pretty easy to find there. When you're on LinkedIn, follow my hashtag Bobby the Builder. You can book appointments with me. I do an Ask Me Anything session. Also do coaching sessions on whether it's resume breakdown or mock interviews. I got all of that there. Also on Instagram, very active on Instagram, on numerous podcasts. So you'll see all that stuff there. So you can find me Bobby McNeil Jr., all one word, BOBBY MCNEIL JR on Instagram and Facebook as well.
All right. Well, thank you. You know what? And we're also planning to have a book cover reveal as well, you guys. So I can't wait for that whole thing.
Yeah, yeah. Cracking the code book reveal. It's gonna be great. We
It's
know
gonna be at
yeah. Now go ahead, go ahead.
it's gonna be at theaters near you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
We
it's
we
coming.
making it big, right?
Yeah, it's coming. It's coming. So I want it to be creative. I want it to be engaging. I want it to be, when you look at the cover, it's beautiful on the outside. It looks good on the outside, but some good stuff inside too. So yeah, we working on that.
Awesome.
That's gonna come soon. Cracking the code, 10 possible reasons you didn't get a job, 2024.
Mm.
Awesome. So you know what, you guys, like after the show or when you have the opportunity, if you could put your stuff in the chat, I'm gonna also try to go on YouTube and put it in there as well,
Mm.
just to make sure everybody has all of the information correctly. But it has been an honor to have you two here, just as it has been with everybody from your family and everything. I hope you guys are able to check out the show that will be premiering on December 26th, because I got some surprises for y'all. Okay. Some things that we're going to be collaborating and doing in 2024. And I am just super excited about it. So, again, thank you guys for being on the She Pub Network. I truly appreciate you, value your time, and thanks.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah, appreciate it.
All right. Well, again, like I said, this was an amazing, a really great show where I learned a lot. Yesterday's show, some of our viewers said that they actually learned a lot from there, and I'm for sure that you learned a lot today. Now, this is what I'm gonna let you guys know. Is Scott is definitely the winner for tonight. Home Alone, well, first of all, because Home Alone is his favorite movie, but also because Home Alone is actually Rich Novated's favorite movie. But guess what? Even though he said that, it is also Bobby's favorite movie as well. So I am in you, Mr. Scott, so we can get your gift to you. And you're going to have to just post it on Facebook or post it on Instagram or somewhere to let people know how we do it. Okay. In the She Publishing Squad. So, again, thank you guys for being here. I hope to see you guys tomorrow. We are doing a whole week. We are interviewing our newer authors. We are interviewing authors who have a book coming out, if not this month, next month. So I want you guys to stay tuned for the heart to heart conversations with the Lord Publishing, as well as the holiday reviews with She Publishing LLC. So see you next time.
She